Hello, my name is Joanna Harmon, and this is my presentation for Module 1 EDL 850. I live and work in Long Beach, California. I am pursuing a master's degree in instructional technology, and my interests include reading, traveling, and spending time with friends and family. This is a picture of my husband and two children and myself in San Francisco, taken a couple of days ago. It was an amazing trip. I am a second grade teacher in Long Beach Unified. I have taught in grades 2nd through 5th for over 21 years. I am transferring to a new elementary school in the fall called Signal Hill. The population is very diverse with 51% Hispanic, 23% Asian, 17% Black, 5% two or more races, 2% white, 2% Filipino, and 1% Pacific Islander students. And 90% of those students come from low-income families. Long Beach Unified is very diverse. It is one of the most, Long Beach is one of the most diverse cities within the United States. And Long Beach Unified is the 4th largest district in California and is the largest employer in Long Beach with 12,000 full-time and part-time employees and an enrollment of 70,000 students. Now to move on to support of public schools. The levels of government support for public schools vary. I was surprised to find out that there was such a small percentage allotted from the federal government. So I'll begin there. When the budget is passed by Congress, they set aside a little under 10% for operating costs for schools. And then there is state funding that does vary amongst states, but on average, districts will receive a little under 50%, and that is funding based on sales and income tax. And then at the local level, they receive a little under 50% as well, and that comes from the local property taxes from businesses and homes. Who is in charge of the various levels? At the local level, there are school board members. They are appointed or elected officials who will appoint a superintendent. The superintendent is a paid position, and according to California legislative information, school board members receive compensation for their services. At the state level, the departments of education are chosen by state governments, and those are paid positions. And at the federal level, there is the U.S. Department of Education and a Secretary of Education paid position as well. Most power and control is the primary responsibility at the state and local levels, and much authority is delegated by state governments to local districts. The duties and responsibilities. The local level, the state government delegates responsibilities to the districts, and they make the decisions on how the schools will operate, establish the curriculum, decide on closures, construction, and consolidation of schools. At the state level, they exercise the oversight and accountability of schools that are government run and pass school laws, adopt standards such as Common Core, which some states have, and create additional standards. And the federal government has not as many duties and responsibilities, again, which was surprising to me, but they do have the crucial responsibility to protect the civil rights in K through 12 education. In California, the state superintendent of public instruction is Tony Thurmond, and at the federal level, the United States Secretary of Education is Miguel Cardona. In my district, we have 5 school board members, and our superintendent is Jill Baker. She's sitting here in this picture, and these are our 5 school board members. The superintendent is the chief administrator working with the Board of Education, and school board members approve academic and career initiatives for the students, adopt the annual budget, establish policies for the district, and approve textbooks. I found our board policies on our website, and There were several articles. I highlighted students. It shows their rights and responsibilities. There are goals and plans, such as for special education, local plans, school accountability reports. Other articles I found included personnel, administration, and community relations, but it was very extensive, the amount of articles that are included in the board policies. Looking at the CLOs, it was hard to decide exactly which level had the most influence, but I really feel it fell on both the state and local levels because they seem to have many of the same shared responsibilities. And with 6.3, I felt that fell mainly on at the state level because they're implementing laws, rights, and policies. The success and well-being of each student and adult. Well, all three levels of government do provide funding for schools, and they are requiring accountability from the school districts and the schools. So I think that leads to success. It is a responsibility of the federal government to provide all students both a high quality and free education, and this comes through continuous support of states, districts, and schools. While most policies in education are made at the local and state levels, the regulations, legislation, guidance, and other policies are addressed in the Every Student Succeeds Act by the federal government, which I had not been aware of how extensive that was. I also feel it is the balance and the responsibilities and duties of each level of government to ensure quality education for each student. And I think it's important to note that the Center for Public Justice stated that parents hold the primary responsibility for the education and nurturing of their children. The CLO correlation, the three CLOs address the needs that are in schools, the needs of students, what their rights are, the resources needed to support students in schools. Each level of government plays some role in each of these needs, and they are ultimately responsible for these learning outcomes. The relevance, this assignment has been very relevant to my current learning. I have a much better understanding of the support that is available for various groups of students, such as the students I work with, low income and or at risk. I was aware of Title I, but I wasn't aware of the Title VI funds for children with disabilities and the Title VII for bilingual education, which is important within our district. What I feel very strongly about is that more needs to be provided to make schools more equitable and provide more technology for students that may not have access to these resources, both in school and outside of school. And learning more about the three levels of government, my understanding has improved greatly. I was not aware of the duties and responsibilities within each level. Learning about the federal government's main focus to uphold the rights of students, I was not fully aware of, and I'm happy to know that that is their most important job. And I think my biggest takeaway is now knowing that if I want to seek educational changes, the most effective way is to go to the local level, because that is where most of the power lies and where we'll see results. Reflection. Looking forward, this assignment has just helped me understand so much better the responsibilities of each level of government within education. As a teacher, I really do appreciate this for my at-risk students and all my students. It can help me overall now that I have a better understanding of where everything comes from and what is expected at each level. I am not a future school leader, but one thing I do have is voting rights on school budget, on our school budget every year. Now having this information about where funds are allocated from is definitely going to be highly beneficial in helping me decide where to put money and to look into, are there other options for funding and supporting our students? With this knowledge, this is going to be extremely helpful because I wasn't aware. I just went with what I was told. So this will definitely be beneficial in that area. These are my references. Thank you very much.